Hello and welcome to the workshop series. This is the first video in a series of 5 that's all about delivering workshops in your community. So I'm Julia Hankins. I'm a children's wellbeing consultant and mentor and the founder of Wellbeing Adventurers. And I work with other kids yoga teachers and other wellness professionals and support them through training and mentoring. And so today's video is all about why community workshops can be great for your business. And I really think that they can. And I think a lot of kids yoga teachers want to do workshops, or maybe even adult yoga teachers too, want to do workshops, but have a few barriers to it, and it seems like a big thing and can feel very overwhelming. And as somebody who's delivered quite a few workshops myself and found them really just a joy, I wanted to just share my experiences here and talk through some thoughts that I have about this very cool offering that you can do. And I'm not saying at all that this is the right way or that everything that I say is, what you should do. I'm just sharing my own experience in case it's helpful to anybody else. So, first of all, what is a workshop? So, workshops tends to be longer than a normal class, whatever that looks like for you. Sometimes they could be a couple of hours, they could be a half day, or even a full day, and they're usually around a specific theme, or they dive deeper into a particular aspect. The workshops that I tend to have run in the past have generally been around seasonal things, and I've delivered workshops for families and delivered workshops for children and also for adults too. But a key element that's been the same in all of mine have been basically seasonal. I live seasonally, and it's a really big part of my life. So that's what my particular workshops have been based around. But other people may base workshops around a particular interest of theirs or something they want to dive deeply, or it could be about something particular in the calendar at that time. So I think there's 5 main reasons why, and there's probably more, why workshops can be great for your business. So the first one is visibility and growing audience. Different people may come to a workshop than come to regular classes, and I am one of those people because I actually struggle to make it to regular weekly classes because my weeks look different. Me and my husband are both self-employed, and our weeks just never look the same. And so I find it really difficult to commit to a regular weekly class. But what I do love doing is going to workshops. And it's the same for the people in your audience, in your sphere, in your community. There will be some people who would love to work with you, but can't make the weekly classes, either because it doesn't fit in with their timetabling, or maybe they can't make the financial commitment, or maybe they just don't like committing to something every single week. And so the people that come to a workshop are likely to be different people, which obviously grows your audience, and also it increases your visibility wider, because when you're advertising special events or when you're running special events, different people get to know about you, and you draw attention from different people. Even if they don't attend that particular workshop, you're still becoming known about in your area for that particular thing. So it can be really great for increasing your visibility and growing your audience. The second reason why I think workshops can be great in your business are because they're great for building and strengthening relationships with the people that you work for. So if you've seen anything from me before, you will know that relationships are at the heart of everything that I deliver, and a really core aspect of myself and of my business. And I think that when you run workshops, there's a greater ability to foster these relationships with new people who you've not met before, relationships amongst the group. When people come to a workshop, they've got more time in between, they're more likely to create conversations, and you get more of a community feel in a workshop, and you can kind of create this lovely community. And I think people just have more space and more time, and it's a really great opportunity for you to just build those relationships. It's also, from a business perspective, a great way to build relationships with people too, because a workshop is quite a small commitment that somebody needs to make, and a great way of them getting to know you. So it could be that somebody gets to know you at a workshop and thinks, oh, actually, I'd really like to work with this person more, and they may want you to they may want to work with you on a bigger contract. So it could be, for example, in my adult workshops, I have quite a lot of educators that come to my adult workshops, and I work with their schools, and I'm like front of mind for those people when they want to work with schools. So it helps in that way. And also, there may be people who work with you at a workshop, but then think, oh, maybe I could get this person to come and deliver some workplace yoga or whatever it is you're offering. So it can be a great way of somebody building a relationship with you and then considering whether they want to either sign up to a whole series of classes with you, or a one-to-one offering with you, or a bigger contract in some way. My third reason, I don't know why it's my third reason actually, it probably should be my first one, is that I think they're fun. I think workshops are really, really fun. They're fun to plan, they're fun to deliver, and I really love to experiment and create, and it's probably down to my neurotype, because ADHD is part of my neurotype, along with autism. And I love just creating new things and fresh new ideas. And workshops are a really great way of just doing that, you know. And so if you're someone who likes to experiment and try out new things, then running a workshop about something that is inspiring for you may be a great way of doing that. My fourth reason is that they can be financially rewarding. And obviously, if we're running a business, we need to be making money. I think sometimes in the yoga community, talking about money can feel a little bit like, oh, you know, taboo, and you shouldn't do that. But actually, unless you're earning money in your business, you don't really have a business. And so running a workshop could be a good way of supplementing your income that you're getting from other classes. And it may be a really sensible thing to do to diversify and to just earn money in different ways. And so I found that people will pay more for a workshop than they will for a weekly class, as it's perceived as a special event rather than a weekly commitment. And I think depending on your expenses and how many people are coming, a workshop can be very financially rewarding. I don't think this should be your main driver for running a workshop, because I do think they can be quite a lot of work, and if the only reason you're doing it is for finances, then it may not be the best thing for you. But I do think it is definitely a good thing to consider. And my last reason for thinking that well, workshops in some way are good for your business is that it gives you an opportunity to hone your skills and try out new things. And so I think that workshops are a great place to experiment and try something out. When you're delivering weekly classes, you can have like a sort of a layout or a type of thing that you do every week. And in a workshop, people aren't really expecting that. People are more open to change and to try new things. And so if there's something that you would like to explore or do more of, then giving it a little try at a workshop for a short amount of time within that workshop can just be a really great way of testing something before you do it. And also trying it and see if you like it. Is this something that works for me, or is this something I didn't like? So those are my 5 reasons why I think that workshops can be great in your business. There are also some things to consider. Firstly, they can be quite stressful to plan. There can be financial outlays, and costs can really spiral here, especially if you've decided to include food, or if you need to buy extra props or resources. And when you're including your venue hire, costs can really add up, especially if you're not really aware of this. So it's not a reason why not to do a workshop. And I do think that, you know, if you bear this in mind and you have like a spreadsheet and you keep total, and you know, you're very aware of this, then it can be very financially rewarding. But um, it can also be that you end up spending more than and not earning very much because you've spent a lot on resources and props. And that's definitely something that I did the first few times that I delivered workshops. Was I got really excited about buying new things and doing something amazing, and I ended up not really earning that much from the workshop. So it's definitely something to consider in your planning, is the financial outlays. Another thing that can be quite stressful, and was definitely a concern for me when I first started delivering workshops, was the kind of legalities and the safety aspects of doing a workshop. Obviously, it's a very different thing than doing a weekly class. And so there's things that you need to make sure about, like, are you insured to deliver what it is you're wanting to deliver, to the age range, or to the types of people, or to, you know, where you're delivering it, or what it is you're delivering. Are you actually insured to do that? There's also other safety considerations, such as if you're including food, you need to consider things like allergies, maybe food hygiene. There may be lots of different things to consider when it comes to food. And also, if you're going to include other aspects within your workshop, you need to conduct risk assessments for each different aspect to make sure that it's safe, especially if you're working with vulnerable groups of people, such as children or people with disabilities, or you know, physical things that need to be considered. And so you're obviously need to bear in mind who it is who's coming and how you can make it safe for them. And so that's not a reason why not to do it, but it's definitely something that needs some consideration. Another thing that can add to the pressure of delivering a workshop is marketing. You obviously, unless you get a certain number of people to come, it could be an expensive experiment, you know. So you need to have a little plan in place of how you're going to market, who you're hoping is going to come, and it may be worthwhile working out what's the minimum number of people that you need to make it financially viable, and what date will you need these people to have booked on before you can cancel. And don't be like put off if you do need to cancel. I've needed to cancel workshops before now due to low numbers, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it just doesn't land. Sometimes people want to come but can't make that particular day, or sometimes your idea just isn't really what the people in your world need right at that moment, and that's totally fine. So don't let that put you off if you do need to cancel. But it's definitely good to have it in your mind of like, okay, if I haven't got this amount of people by this date, what am I going to do about that? Am I going to cancel? So that's something to consider. So all in all, I think that workshops can be a great option as something to have in your business, but only if it works for you and your particular lifestyle. It can be tempting to think that, oh, this is something I should do because other people are doing it. But if it doesn't work for you and your family or your lifestyle or your situation, then don't do it. You know, it has to work for you. And there was a time in my life where I delivered quite a lot of workshops. At the moment, I'm not running any. I don't have any planned in my calendar for the foreseeable future, but I hope that they will become back at some point. But right now they don't work for me or my family because of the timings that I would need to deliver them for them to work for my audience doesn't work for my family right now. And so that's hard because it's something I do want to deliver and it's something I do enjoy doing. And I can't wait to get back into delivering workshops, but it's the reality of my family at this moment in time. And I think it's definitely worth considering yourself. Does it work for you right now? And if it doesn't, just put a pin in it for another time. And if it does, then I'm hoping that this series will be really useful to you. So I'm putting together a booklet to accompany this series of videos that you can download. And I'm hoping that the questions in it will help you to formulate a workshop that really works for you. you know, not a cut and paste one that somebody else has said, oh, this is what works, but for you to consider what works for you. And that's really the key to us being successful in our businesses, is figuring out what we have to offer and doing it. Anyway, that's all for video 1. I hope you find the rest of the series useful, and I hope you found this video useful too. If you've got any questions, don't forget to comment or send me an email, julia@juliahankins.co.uk. And if you want to find out more about me and my business, you can find me at juliahankins.co.uk.